Hi, this is Scott Hoppy from Y Blue, an accounting and tax firm, and we're going to take a peek at how I use Gmail with the firm to set it up and what plugins we have here to get client communications going. So, looking at this from the high level view, we bunch unread emails up here, and then we categorize starred ones, something that we normally want to keep kind of top of mind, even though it's read, and then everything else. So I get about 4,000 emails, more closer to 5,000 emails a month from unique individuals, or unique threads. So this structure helps me keep things really prioritized. I like the GTD way of things, but I don't necessarily have my inbox set up following the getting things done methodology. So besides having the structure of unread, starred, everything else, on the left, I have a client list, and on that client list, I make labels for every client that we have. So when they email in, it automatically categorizes all their stuff. So here you get gunning, and then that way any team member can come into my inbox and they can click on that client's label and see our chat histories. Really, really, really helpful for them versus just searching. Let's take a peek at the settings of how to get this set up, and then we'll come back around and look at the plugins and add-ons. So display density, we do compact. We're using the modern Gmail, so the latest one that came out in 2018. Now let's navigate to settings, inbox, inbox type, priority inbox. And then with priority inbox, I select my first one, I want unread. Second one, starred. I don't have a third category, but then it comes everything else. I don't use markers, I don't use overrides, and I don't use my past actions to predict which messages are important. And then the team can get access. I come here and grant access to your account. You can add people individually, and you can decide when they read it, is it read by me or does it leave the conversation open? And I have it marked to leave the conversation open. That way, when they're in my inbox processing it, it doesn't get marked read and get lost. So you'll probably notice a couple things around here. In my add-ons that or I guess my extensions that I use Gmass, and that adds these two little buttons here, and that helps me write custom emails quarterly to clients or on annual basis. So I can have a template email, and it'll feed the email addresses, the names, and everything off of a Google Sheet. So I can have the team create a Google Sheet, write out the email, and then I can just use Gmass, and it automates the whole thing. It also does follow-ups. So like a typical quarterly email for estimates, I'll say, hey, have there been any changes? Blah blah blah. Before Gmass, I did I BCC'd everyone, and now with Gmass, I can send a custom email that says Q3, and in parentheses, I can put in the client's identifier, like anti-gravity. So it becomes more custom, and then the email body will say hi, X, the name, blah 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 blah, template email, and then it'll have like list 1, 2, 3. Like if we're talking about Q3, I can change the dates, so it says, hey, this quarterly is due on September 17th, 2018, and then that means each quarter those dates can get updated, but the template email can stay the same, which is again really helpful. So the follow-up emails after you send that first mass one out can go something like, hey, I noticed you haven't responded yet. So if they don't reply, I can send an email to say, you haven't responded, just making sure you saw this. And then you can always send a third email. It's like, hey, I haven't heard anything at all. This is Q3, so how about we revisit any estimates at Q4? That's by having those follow-ups and having the custom emails, my response rates have shot up. And I nearly hear back from everyone, which is phenomenal. But that's more of a one-time tool. And then the main tool that I use day to day is Gmelius. And what Gmelius does for me is it allows me to do send laters. I can enter GIFs. I can have better templates in here than I can use in the canned responses for Google. Um, and send later is one of the major features I use now. Before I used to use snooze a lot, but Google built snooze in. However, there's this really neat feature here that you can send an email and say, look, if no one replies, give me a follow-up, and you can say like in a week. That's really helpful. So if you send a bunch of emails, you don't have to think about, oh, which one do I need to talk back to or email back to. You'll automatically get a follow-up, and it'll pop right back up into your inbox, and you'll know, oh, I need to go and follow up with this person. They haven't responded to me. So Gmelius is really good for your day-to-day email, where Gmass is really helpful when I'm doing like a mass, almost like a newsletter type email. The continuity here between this client list and the filters is Asana and Slack and Google Drive all have the same naming scheme, so it's really easy to jump between all the tools and know where the clients land. If you have any questions, let me know, and you can email me at scott@whyblue.com. That's SCOTT@WHYBLU.com.